Be the Good is all about people doing good in the world while following their passions. Good for their own souls and for others. I'm Kate Chericello, and welcome to today's episode. If you are enjoying these stories, please subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It would mean so much. You can also join our Facebook community under the group title, Be the Good with Kate Chericello. Let's spread a little more goodness in the world. Today's guest is Ashley-Lauren Elrod, and she is the absolute definition of a multi-hyphenate who also proves that you can be successful while maintaining a positive attitude and your faith at the core of everything. And she's so inspirational. And I just have to read, I don't usually read off of bios, but this one I needed to. Her bio includes this sentence: helping performers lead an audaciously authentic life of purpose holistically. And I absolutely love that. Ashley-Lauren also runs Visionary Woman Productions, and I will let her fill you in on the rest. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
You bet. So first, just tell me about who you are and what you do in your own words.
Yeah, I guess who I am is, as you said, a multi-hyphenate. I am a founder and CEO of Visionary Woman Productions. It is a small productions company in which I primarily worked production design, directing gigs out of, as well as casting, directing as well. So I've cast for television, for film, for commercial and print, as well as production design for those areas as well, and direct. So it's been a wild ride. I am literally currently doing all of those things at once right now, every day, in some form or fashion, while also being a performer who's also signed, who has multiple auditions a week and callbacks and going on a gig next week. So it's literally life is always, insane, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I try, like you said, to help other artists see that they can do more than just, stick to one thing, especially when one thing is not happening all the time. We're both artists. We understand that you're not always going to get the gig. You're not always going to be consistently acting. So that's why I started Visionary Woman Productions, to be able to actually serve, my fellow community at first in college, who needed, my friends, broke college students who needed headshots, because it started off as just industry consulting, headshot photography. We did all the packages for them, from styling to makeup and everything across the board, to now to being able to coach actors, to help them from a casting director perspective and an actor perspective, but help them to also see that, it's not life or death, and that, there's so much more to life, and that they need to be enjoying it. And I try to help them do that a little bit more.
Excellent. Ashley-Lauren, can you tell me a little bit more about your pathway to finding the arts, and then specifically the facets that you're involved in?
Yes. So I've always been in the arts. I've been in the arts since I was a kid, literally. I was in ballet and singing and dancing right out of the gates when I was very young. So that was something that my parents kind of saw that I was naturally good at, and were like, oh, well, sign her up for this, see if she likes it or that. And, I kind of just did everything. I did everything at once, like I do now. Because it was just oh, you're naturally good at this, so might as well keep it going. So I've been in the arts ever since I was in kindergarten, and ever since then, I've just been moving my way up in different realms. I started modeling professionally in high school, so that kind of was my first, I guess, professional push into the industry from that aspect. And then I went to Columbia College Chicago, and I majored in technical theater and minored in performance. So I got the best of both worlds of learning to be a production designer, do lighting, costuming, makeup, all of that you had to pass, for every class to learn just the whole ropes and ins and outs of the industry for that degree. And then I minored in performance. So that heavy degree got me, where I am now. I started performing right out of the gates. So before I graduated college, I got signed with an acting agent and stuff. So I was already booking shows and stuff right out before college, which was cool. So then I used my production design major degree later on in my life, but it's so cool how it all just came together as I started to kind of develop and redevelop Visionary Woman as the years went on.
It's funny, two themes that have come up a disproportionate amount of times with guests. One is that idea of everything we learn, even if we don't seem to use it right away, eventually it comes back around, and you put it all together somehow into this great like soup pot, and it becomes this great creation, right? And the other one is just how arts really from a young age can just do so much for confidence for kids. And you were able to then go to Chicago and create your own production company and do all of this, and you had that great foundation of what the arts did with interaction with people and presenting yourself and so much.
Yeah, definitely. I agree for sure. And it's really helped me too, like, in moving to New York, and I've been here 4 years now, and also like now branching out. So I've been able to branch out to London, to India, to LA, to Atlanta for my business. So it's been awesome. It's been cool.
So then that leads me to my next question. You said you've been here 4 years, so almost half of your time in New York now has been during this pandemic. How has your world looked different through the pandemic? What has changed and you can't wait to get back to, or what maybe has even changed for the better that you hope will continue?
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane that it's been, a crazy past 2 years. But honestly, I will say, like, I was very blessed. Like, I was very fortunate. I keep telling people, like, I cannot complain about because I really was fortunate in regards to just like being able to be taken care of financially in regards to like having clients who are still casting regardless of the pandemic, and people who kind of transitioned, like the commercial world specifically transitioned, like to doing self and at home shoots with the actors. So it's like that kind of opened up a whole new world of like, oh wow, you can do some things here, without having to have like a huge production and spend a whole bunch of money on crew and stuff, when it's like you can just literally send the actor like a drop kit and like direct them and have them like shoot this footage. And it's amazing, how that happened. So that like kept me on my feet pretty much all of the pandemic, which was a blessing. And then also too, I happened to get a virtual show. Like I landed a lead for a virtual show that ended up like selling out, like which was insane.
Yes.
Yeah, like insane. Like who would have thought, we'd be doing Zoom shows and people actually would be like, wow, like I'm gonna go to this show like on Zoom. And it was great though. We had our backgrounds, we did different cool backgrounds for each scene that was relative to it. We had our costumes, we had props, like just like a regular, show in theater. So it was cool. Like the pandemic actually was very fun for the most part in regards to create a creative aspect. It really helped me in a lot of ways to be able to meet a lot of new people. Like I said, I was able to then cast in London and in India and Australia for projects, and be able to connect with a lot of people from around the globe that I'm, now connected with for the future for, for networking and business and all of that, and just as friends too. So that's been really cool. I am excited to hopefully get back to like in-person stuff at some point, like in-person auditions and conducting them and doing them. I think it's just like something, that doesn't beat in-person auditions. Yeah, I definitely miss that. And I'm hoping that, 2022 will be the year we can kind of start slowly like getting back to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, there is that interaction that just comes from being in someone's presence.
Yeah.
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 Wow. It certainly made everybody get real creative, but I'm glad that that worked out so well then with what your line of work and everything as well.
Yeah. It was good.
So, through coaching your acting clients and maybe through projects you've cast or in your own life, what are some examples of, I like to call them good news moments,
Yeah.
client success stories, your own success stories, anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, I mean, it's been like a crazy few years. But it's like yeah, it's been awesome. Like I've had a lot of clients that immediately, did one coaching session with me, either through Actors Access or something else, and they, got something or a lot of things that they didn't hear before, and even veterans who are like, wow, like you come at it from a different perspective, like you just have a different tone that it makes me connect and I immediately get it. And then, right after that, they'll book, their first ever commercial. Like people message me, like, I booked my first commercial after taking your workshop, or I finally landed an agent, like right after I, like, worked with you for that 1 hour, like, then I, landed an agent. So that's been cool. I've had like several of those stories the past 2 years, and it's been amazing to just like, I don't know. Like it's cool that you're like, you feel like, oh wow, people think I'm doing something different, even though it's being done all of the time, every day. But it's like whatever I'm saying and how my energy is, like they're connecting with it and it's helping them feel more comfortable and confident that it's helping them to then, take what I'm saying and, put it into their work, and it's working, and it's, and they're booking those gigs and they're landing those agents and making those connections. So that's been really cool to always get like those stories in. And I've gotten like quite a few in this year, which has been awesome. And just like,
Oh,
I mean, projects I booked myself has been awesome too. I booked a lead in a film for next week. So I'm getting, flown to Orlando, which is going to be so fun. And thank you. I'm excited for that, like even throughout still a pandemic, it's like you're, just being able to do that is just a really like fortunate thing. And also to have two feature films that are in the works that I'll be casting for some pretty awesome people, as well as producing one of them. So yeah,
my
it's been a good couple years of wins and obviously my
oh,
job, but yeah.
well, that is fantastic. And I have to say, you're one of those people. Whenever I feel like how can I keep going in all these different directions, I just have to look at your Instagram page and and I'd be like, okay, she's in like 15 different directions, and she still has that smile on her face. We got this. We got this.
Girl, I try. Like I do share like, hey guys, today's been great. Like you see my stuff. Like I'm definitely honest. Like it's not perfect every day. I'm trying to pull back on some things because it's like I don't want to feel burnt out or anything. I
Yeah.
want to really put my best foot forward because I truly believe in that, right? I feel like all artists are multi-hyphenates in a lot of ways, and we're all doing tons of stuff. But it's like important to know like the few couple things you want to keep at the forefront to really put your energy into that you really want to propel successfully, forward in. Whereas the other things can just be, added things here and there. So that's what I try to have a balance of.
And it's like a constant battle of finding that. But when you
Yeah.
do, and it sounds like things are going really well, which I'm so excited to hear.
Thank you.
Okay, I have one more question for you, and I feel like you're going to have plenty of options to choose from in your answer. Do you have any sayings, quotes, mantras that you find yourself repeating to yourself or others?
Yes, I definitely have a lot of things. I think one of my biggest ones is this is a hard one because I have so many every day. And I think one of my biggest mantras is only you can do like what you do, like no matter what industry it is or how many people are trying to do it. There's only one you. There's only one you that can bring a different perspective, a different light to that role, or a light to that set, or a light to whatever you're doing. And it's something, someone, somewhere needs you. And that is what people need to keep at the forefront of their minds, to know that, yeah, you're not always going to book it, but that's okay. It's like, what can you do in the moments that you don't book? How can you really make those moments special and rich for yourself, creatively and otherwise, to be able to continue to have a fruitful, beautiful life? So I try to teach all actors that I coach with that very important fact of, like, you need to be you, be confident in you, content with what you're doing, and it will come in the way that it's supposed to. And I think another is to allow yourself room to breathe. Like, don't treat, this as life or death. Like I said earlier, it's great to have a career. It's great to have, success and stuff. But from experience, like of having like a breakdown at an early age after being in the modeling industry, and having a lot of success right out of the gate, and going to the parties, and hanging around certain people, I can say that it's not always worth it. And you have to have your good boundaries and morals for yourself and for your career, to be able to be healthy in it and to be able to keep up that health no matter what. So that's a big important thing that I've been preaching to people is, know what you want, know your why, and why you truly want to do this, and make sure you have a plan and a foundation of what that looks like for you, so you don't get caught up.
Wonderful words of advice there, Ashley-Lauren. And where can we find you online to follow you?
Yes, you guys can follow me and find me at www.visionarywomanproductions.com, as well as Instagram, Ashley-Lauren Official.
Wonderful. I cannot thank you enough for your time, because I know you're in a million directions. So thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for listening to Be the Good with Kate Chericello. Whether you're listening on YouTube or via podcast, it would mean the world if you liked, subscribed, and or left a review. You heard about the good? Now go out and be the good in your life this week. If you have stories of good news that need to be shared, please send me a message. Thanks again, and have a great week.